Hi, I'm John Timmerman, and live from New York, it's Saturday night. Oh, wait, shit, it's Tuesday morning.
Hey, I'm Rob Schauger, and I like big donuts, and I cannot lie.
Oh, shoot. And I'm Al Kutri, and I'm a Hot Mess Express.
Hey, and we are the co-founders of the NoBull company, presenting NoBull 2020 coming up April 8th. We're going to have Gary Vaynerchuk. BHG is our naming sponsor, David Meltzer, AJ Vaynerchuk, Chuck. Shay Rowbottom, awesome speakers. If you're into business, head to NoBull2020.com. What's up, Buzz Nation? Welcome to I'm a Little Buzzed live. Unless you're watching this after, then it's not live. We're coming to you from our homes, straight up pandemic style. But normally we're in Syracuse Studios. Syracuse's newest co-working space, combining creativity, comfort, and community. Check them out at Syracuse.com. Today's show, it's about how to be more noticeable in business specifically. Impact of innovation on business. So businesses that haven't innovated during the pandemic are probably in a tough spot because the world is against us all right now. So we're trying to shed some light, provide some examples on innovation. And by the way, innovation doesn't need to be if you're like a business owner or an entrepreneur. You can innovate as an employee. The size of the company might make that more challenging. But before we get into the topic, it's time to cheers to life, love, lots of laughter, and when people moo at a cow as if the cow suddenly thinks you're family now. Cheers.
Cheers. Why do people do that?
I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like they do the same thing. I feel like they do the same thing that like cats.
All
like you
animals.
Do a cat lugger. Like,
All
hey, kitty, meow.
Yeah, meow. Like all animals. And people go to the zoo and you'll hear them like making the sounds of a chimp, and I'm like, yeah, like or a goat. Perfect. Like this is not okay for people. This is not okay.
It's so cute though. I'm gonna totally talk to animals when Trip is like able to talk.
Absolutely.
Actually, what am I saying? I already am.
Yeah,
I'm already like reading books, and I'm like, oh, cow says moo.
Moo.
Yeah, Al and I are getting a little tired of that, though. You talking to us like we're
chimpanzees. I know.
We're getting. I'm so sorry, Coach. It just comes out. I don't mean it.
John, I'm not a cow, John. I'm not a cow. I'm a human.
oh. I mean, hi, Al. I mean, hi. Listen, everyone, don't forget we do giveaways on our live shows, but you have to be watching live to get the giveaway. So we will announce at the end of the show who wins the giveaway. Oh, how do you enter the giveaway? You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So these videos go up on YouTube. Our YouTube is growing. We got some kick-ass videos. Once these are done, Al, you're doing a fucking great job editing things.
Oh, thank you.
So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel specifically, and we will announce the winner at the end of today's show. What do you win, do you ask? Oh, well, our first giveaway several weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I believe, was a pair of Jackson Jovi jeans. And it's jeans season, so we're giving away another pair of Jackson Jovi Genos. So Jackson Jovi's my wife and I's jean company, athletic denim company. Great fitting jeans. Hopefully the fellows can attest to that.
They can.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll announce the winner at the end. And if you want to enter next show's giveaway, subscribe. Now it's the time to get into a little segment we like to call the Sippy Sip.
So the Sippy Sip is super simple. Wow, that was a lot of S's in there.
I love that.
The Sippy Sip is super simple. Blah! Say that 5 times fast.
Do it again. One more time.
The Sippy Sip is super simple. God.
Can't stop him.
I've had a lot of coffee today. I make these words up like 2 seconds ago, and then boop, they come out of my head, and the guys respond, and whatever they say hopefully is funny and unfiltered.
I got a quick idea.
Yeah.
For the live, because we always talk over each other. Rob, rock, paper, scissors, best of one to who answers first on these. Sound good?
Rock, best of one.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Shit. Ready? It was a tie. It was a tie.
Okay.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ha! All right.
John wins. All right. Turkey baster.
Liquidy.
Rob?
Messy.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you're clearly using it wrong.
Don't you remember I got both these hands stuck up the turkey's backside?
How do you use it with your elbows? You can't.
This is a holiday edition, by the way. 2, guests walking barefoot in your house.
Oh, they're gonna get dirt on their feet, probably some baby drool.
Ugh.
Christmas tree needles.
Elastic waist pants.
They have a time limit.
Expandable waistline.
Dishes to pass.
Thoughtful.
More food.
See, I don't like dishes to pass. I don't know who's making what. Anyway, Santa at the mall.
Knees.
Drunk old man.
Knees?
Yeah, I don't know. You sit on their knee. Listen, this segment is first thing that pops in your head.
You're right, but I'm very confused. Using midgets to play elves.
Discriminatory. Sorry, I cut you off, John.
No
bueno.
He
got happy after that one.
Yeah, no bueno.
Elf movie was the first thing that popped into my head.
Okay.
Robert Dunklage, is that his name? Dinklage?
Yeah. Game of Thrones.
Great actor, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, award-winning actor. Unexpected guests.
A little frustrating.
Totally.
Annoying.
Absolutely. Like, you never pop in. You always send a text or a call first. Don't ever pop into my house.
Those days have sailed.
Oh my God. When someone sits in your seat at the table.
That's fine. Don't care.
Bullshit. That's my chair. GTFO.
You're from Utica.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bathrooms off the kitchen.
50-50 on that.
That's where mine's at.
I will never use it.
Use Wait, you'll never use the kitchen, or you'll never use the bathroom?
Well, I'll always use the kitchen. I'll never use the bathroom off the kitchen. Way too close for comfort.
Yeah, we've got a full supply of be quiet. It's fine.
Oh, shoot. Okay. And the final number 10 in the sippy sip is holiday ham.
I don't like it, unless it's on a sandwich with mustard.
Spiraled.
Understand that? We're done.
Underwhelming holiday edition.
That was good.
Underwhelming.
Listen, we're much more polite when we give each other turns.
Although you're right.
You know, I don't know if it hit quite the same or not, but
I'm not sure. But hey, the 7 people watching can let us know.
All right. So today's show, how do you innovate? How do you stand out from a crowd? And the impact of innovation on business. So we're in our second wave of COVID. I guess, I don't know if the wave ever went away, but it's here. And more businesses are struggling, right? And there's I forget the actual saying, and there's different renditions of this, but it's basically like when industries and economies like are down, that's when the opportunities exist, right? The opportunities to invest in things, the opportunities to change the way you've been doing things, to evolve, innovate. You know, your back is up against the wall. You have lots of opportunities because everyone else is running around scared. Well, I think as terrible as the pandemic and coronavirus is, I think it's opened up opportunities for an incredible amount of innovation in the video chatting space, in the digital environment, the digital media, the digital marketing space. It's opened up opportunities for innovation in the work from home space, like industry, right? Anything related to these, it's opening up opportunities for new companies to evolve out of, and some already are. But to boil it down or bring it down to an employee level, and fellas, you can sort of chime in here. Al, you haven't been an employee in a very long time, but you can still chime in. There's still one of the best things that I think a person can do, even if you're stuck in a 20,000 person company, is to constantly try to innovate your job around you. There's a really good chance it's not going to go anywhere at that particular company. But I think the worst thing you can do is to say, you know what, I'm in a huge company. I don't know, name a massive company.
Apple,
Google, right? I'm stuck in Apple. The innovation team is way above me. You know, the management team's handling all of this. Like, nobody's going to listen to me. Because what that does is it crushes your spirit, number one, and it doesn't give you the opportunity to ever get noticed in case you do want to grow, you know, want to climb out of that. And then you just become stagnant, right? And then you won't be noticed at all.
Yeah.
Right. So I put together a list here, a little research on some like actual like innovation studies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they like broke it down into different types of innovation. And then I went and found some examples. So I thought we could start off, go through some of those, and have a discussion about these types of innovation. See if you guys have any examples or, you know, thoughts on these. First type of innovation is organizational innovation, right? Small company. Okay. Let's not make this like, if you don't work in a big company, this podcast isn't for you. Let's talk about 1 or 2 person companies, a solopreneur, a 1-person company. Al, you're running your events business. Organizational innovation is basically changing the structure of like your organization, right? So some examples are adopting a 4-day work week if you work at a, you know, larger, more traditional companies, instead of doing a 5-day work week, right? What would that do? You know, what if you guys worked at a company and they went to a 4-day work week, up the hours to 10 hours a day, and gave you a 5th day off? What do you feel like that would do to your, you know, your productivity? Think it would go up or go down?
I honestly don't think it would change at all.
Wouldn't change?
I don't think my productivity would change whether it was 4-day or but with that said, I'm also the type of person that I have to be happy. So I have to enjoy what I'm doing to be able to do it for any length of time.
Yeah.
So for me, going to work 5 days, if I'm enjoying it, doesn't mean anything as opposed to going to work for 4 days. So I think that 4-day work week lends itself to, you know, people that are like waiting for Friday kind of people.
Don't you think though that like the extra day off of like recharge helps the, you know, the input in those 4 days, or not for you personally? It wouldn't.
I don't think it would help for me personally.
No.
But I think for a lot of people, particularly people that have families, I think that extra day in terms of work-life balance, we've talked about this in the past, like is monumental. Like that extra day is a huge piece of time that you can use to your benefit.
I learned that too, becoming a father. Like before having a son or kids, the extra day would have been, if I loved what I was doing, the extra day would have been me time. I would have done some stuff, but like that, you know, I agree with you. It might have not gone any differently.
As a single guy.
Now that I have kids, the extra day allows me to spend time, which I wouldn't even, doesn't matter how much I love my job, unless my job is babysitting my child, then that's totally different. They're separate. And
I think it depends on the job that you're in. So if you are in a, you know, structured environment to where you're like, oh, maybe you're answering phones, or you're like, that time is not really relative to the role that you're playing. Mm-hmm. So if you're in sales or business development or things like that, and you need that 5th day to make things work, like, again, depending on what kind of a business you're in, you know, so maybe if you're selling cars, you know, that, hey, you know what, you've got 2 extra hours in a day. I don't know. For me personally, like I've always worked 5, 6, 7 days a week. I've never worked an 8-hour day that I can remember. Because
you're a hustler, baby.
So I just want you to know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, listen, that's innovative for a lot of companies, but it's also not for like nurses, police
Right.
officers, maybe
Service-oriented.
firefighters. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Right.
Well, the firemen are already doing that, right? I mean, if you're a paid fireman today, I think you're 48 hours on, and then you're off for like 3-4 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
they're running that model, but
Yeah.
what do they do, in those days that they're on?
Mm.
They kill themselves. Like they
Yeah.
work so hard. I have a lot of nurse friends, and they do
Yep.
12s. They go 4 days of 12s,
Yep.
and it's brutal.
A
I mean,
lot.
they need the 4 days or the 3 or 4 days off to recover from that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. That's also physically demanding.
Oh God.
Right. So
Yeah.
even if you do, I know several nurses closely that love their job.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of a stint, they're exhausted. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So that's organizational innovation. So kind of working on the structure of how your business works. Then there's process innovation. So this is, okay, here's your structure, here's your organization. Then there's process above that. So that's workflows. Some examples would be the first firms that were betting on software as a service back in like the 2000s, right? So actually using technology to start to make things faster. A more modern example might be companies that are adopting AI, artificial intelligence, to help their processes. So manufacturing companies that have software programs that help them, produce their products a little bit faster, machine learning, design machine learning. You know what's crazy? This has been around for several years, but it hasn't really caught quite yet, but it's pretty close. Building websites, right? So building websites, when it first started, it was all custom coding. Ones and zeros, code. Then like WordPress came out, and some other builders came out where you could code easier, but it was a pre-built platform.
Mm-hmm.
Then Wix and Squarespace and those sites came out where it was drag and drop, super easy. Now there's companies that are coming out, some of them are live. They just haven't really caught yet. And you can literally like drag in pictures and start to type some text, and it will like build the rest of the website for you. Just like you just start a little bit, and then it's like dominoes, and it just does it. And then you go in and you kind of tweak here and there. Yeah. But that's a game changer. I mean, for a small industry, imagine that over every single industry, those types of things happening. Mm-hmm. Product innovation. This is the most popular, probably, is just an innovative product like the Slap Chop or the Pea Quiet. You take, although I'm not sure what the previous version of the Pea Quiet would have been.
Well, it's brand new to the market. There is no previous version.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's just holding it and not going was the previous version.
Yes, abstinence
kind of quiet
from peeing.
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
This is just don't go.
Peeing on something else might be a little quieter.
Yeah, but that's
like peeing on a bed, or
that's uncouth.
Hey, there's always depends.
It's frowned upon.
Yes.
Yeah, but
there's diapers. That never really caught on unless you absolutely need it.
No. This is about modern day elimination.
Yes. Yeah. So some well-known examples, or well-known companies and examples, are Lego has been changing the materials of their famous bricks to biodegradable oil-based plastic. So
that's nice of them.
Your Legos go, unfortunately, because who wants to throw out Legos? Fuck. But if they do end up in a landfill somewhere, they will biodegrade.
And does this new material hurt less when you step on it? Because
probably not.
That's an idea.
Yes. First electrical vehicles introduced in the car market. That's also a product, like Tesla. That's a product innovation. Yeah. So now another one, marketing innovation. Actually, before we go on, name an innovative product that you guys love. Do you have anything like in your lives that you're just like, I got one. I just looked at one.
I love my WeatherTech mats. So I don't know how innovative you would call that, but the fact that they are laser cut to
laser cut, yeah,
right, so that they fit. I don't get slop all over them as we're coming into the winter season. Went and got 2 Christmas trees this weekend and put them inside. I just pull the WeatherTech rear mat out, shake it off, boom, done. And they're coming out with all sorts of cool things now. They're into the pet industry now. They've got the cup holder phone deal where you put the base of this unit into your cup holder and it now holds your phone up. I mean,
Wow.
It's just injection molding, right? So, I mean, they can make all sorts of things.
They are going crazy right now with advertising too. I hear them all over the podcasts, like holiday season, winter season, when here in upstate you got salt. And yeah. Thankfully, my Toyota came with like their own like WeatherTech sort of version.
Yeah.
But yeah, great product. Al, you got anything?
I mean, there's a million things I could think of, and this one that is not even recent, but like Keurig.
Yeah.
Like K-Cups.
Game changer.
Game freaking changer.
Multi-billion-dollar.
Unbelievable, those damn K-Cups.
Yeah. You know what's crazy too? Like the patent. I assume there's a patent on like K-Cups, but then every other company like changes the shape and the like.
Right.
I've been seriously thinking about getting this Nespresso.
Oh yeah.
And theirs are like really shallow.
Yeah.
You know, but also all the same concept and very innovative. Mine's simple. Mine's just the Yetis, the blender bottles, like the shit that keeps your water cold and your coffee hot and your whatever your beverage is of choice. Right now we're getting buzzed off coffee. Hopefully it's in the morning. Rob, you're suspect though. Not sure about you.
There's nothing wrong with Bailey's in your coffee.
Oh, you got a coffee. I was gonna say I can hear the jingle in your Yeti right now. Ice cubes. So products innovate every single day. Little tiny innovations are the key to growth. And I'll chime into that a little bit later, but we'll keep going here. So marketing innovation would be, getting to your consumers in a different way. You guys know the Airbnb story where they were like broke. I've told it on here before. They were broke. They needed money, and they went to the Obama McCain
rally.
Yeah, and came out with cereal, Obama O's and Captain McCain's, and whether you want to call that marketing for Airbnb or not, like it was a marketing hack. They basically took Cheerios bags out of Cheerios and put them in another box and sold them to the tune of like $80,000, and then use that to go and fund their business. So anyways,
great.
Experiential marketing, that's a big opportunity, to innovate, creating better experiences for your customers. Big one. Eco innovation. We sort of just talked about it with Legos, but that's a big one right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle with a couple of clients working on this because this is also a marketing innovation. If you can tell your customers that we're going green, that we're about to buy these blocks for a trip, these like little like stackable blocks.
Yeah.
And they come in a bag made out of corn, like a seal, like a shipper.
Yeah,
like a thing you'd get in the mail. The bag is made out of like corn.
And then you make dinner with it after.
You just put it in a pot and it pops like popcorn.
Everybody wins.
So I had gone to looked at a company once where they did something similar. Actually, they made the product for Dell. So, when you get your computer in a box and it's shipped to you, if you buy it direct from the manufacturer, it's got like the foam, where everything's kind of right? Well, they were making a product out of mushroom compost.
Hey.
So they were making this for
What
Dell.
happens if you take a bite out of that?
Good question. You could literally throw that thing outside on the lawn, and it would just melt and basically decompose.
Just saw a comment from JC, great fan of ours on LinkedIn. Need new eco-friendly way to carry takeout foods, not disposables, but reusable. This is great. I feel like this is coming out real soon. A lot of restaurants are starting to use the compostable takeout containers. Instead of using styrofoam or whatever the fuck that's called, they use that compostable. But the reusable, JC, I don't know if that'll take off. We'll see. It's sort of like the reusable straws. It was hot, and they're still out there. But I don't know it's widely adopted, so it'll be interesting.
When you say reusable, does it count that like when I get, let's say, Chinese food, I keep the container and reuse it? Is that what we're talking about here?
We do the same thing. Absolutely.
Like, they're great containers. Have you ever seen what Olive Garden delivers in? I mean, I could use those for a whole year.
Yeah.
After.
The key here, though, what does reusable mean? Does it mean you bring it, like, do you bring it to the restaurant and they, like, scoop your food into it?
That's way too far. That's
That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't know.
Hey, Cliff, I'm back. Can I get another? Can you just hit me up with this again? Thanks, pal.
Give me another scoop.
Yeah. Man, that mac and cheese was great. Fill her up.
However, JC, that is something that if people, I think a lot of people are doing more as the climate change and those types of things really hit with everybody. I think more. I know a lot of people that keep the containers. I'd say 50% of the people I know keep the containers, and then they'll use them for like leftovers. If there's a Thanksgiving, you can send your food away.
Yep.
So Jake, what's Jake say?
I had a food prep company that has a plant-based container that they recommend putting in compost.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
That's a huge innovation, just the plant-based container, because you can make I think it's corn. I think it's the corn stalks they're making stuff out of that's like the foundations for buildings. Like it's replacing concrete blocks. Yeah.
What is going on right now?
Crazy durable stuff.
That's going to affect the real estate market, I think.
Going back to Lego, look what Lego's done over the course of like, I don't know. I mean, how long is it? How long have they been around for?
I don't know. Call it 100 years.
It's at least 50.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At least 50, right? So they innovated and went into the spectrum of the entertainment park business, right?
Yeah.
Legoland popping up all over the place, right? So they converted you. I mean, you get to build this thing as a kid, and now you get to go see things that are being built with that, and it's a generational thing, right? I think that. So John, Tripp is of an age where he's going to start to come into that. You use them as a kid. You're both going to sit down and build something together. And now you get to take Tripp to Legoland and go see these things that are like bigger than you could ever think of, because we couldn't freaking afford to build any of that shit that size with the price of Legos. But they completely innovated with that.
To take it even further, the Lego movies, right? So they've licensed that out, and that's something that, like,
video games.
I'll watch Lego movies by myself. I don't need Tripp to do that. Like, have you seen them? They're hilarious.
Yeah. I've never seen one.
Like the Batman ones, and
they're funny. They're funny for adults. Like they script write that to be hilarious.
Right, with some adult humor in there.
Adult humor, yeah. Yep. So it's
great brand.
They've got the video game lineup with that too. I mean, they've spun off. Multiple times. Yeah. Great example of constant innovation.
And then, so one more segment here, and then we can break it off a little bit, is market and industry innovation, right? So this is sort of a general, but the examples here are all the biggest new companies that today, right? So social media companies innovated the communication industry. Facebook, Twitter, the way we communicate went from what was previously email. Before that, it was the phone, right? Before that, it was face-to-face. So Uber and Lyft innovated the transportation industry, right? The taxi, industry. WeWork innovated the commercial space, office space industry. Airbnb, the consumer residential space or hotel industry, innovated the shit out of that. Robinhood is currently shaking up the stock Wall Street world.
Sector, yep.
There's a bunch of other ones too. Albert, Acorns, those are all in there. Albert.
Yes.
Yes. PayPal. That one happened a decade ago, but the payments industry, the payment processing industry. Venmo, Cash App, the way we exchange money. So paper cash going away a little bit more. Venmo, Cash App going up a little bit more.
Love it.
Shopify innovated the website industry, similar to what I was talking about earlier, but specifically for allowing you could start selling freaking saxophones tonight on a Shopify store. You can sell lacrosse balls right next to saxophones. Lacrosse
deal.
Al's, lax, and sax.
Yeah,
oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, Spotify. That was the last one. Spotify on the whole audio radio industry.
Yeah.
So these are all massive industry shifts that started from one single idea.
Mm-hmm.
What are some smaller ones that you think of, like local, something you guys have seen in your neck of the woods? So I think about this. I think I mentioned this on the show before, but so there was a lady who started a donut company, but she, instead of jumping in and doing a whole big brick and mortar and getting into debt and competing. So like one of the things, John, that you mentioned early on was like, I think you were talking like a cookie shop or a brownie shop or whatever, right? Like how do you stand out amongst all of the others?
Yeah.
So I have two examples here. So one is this donut thing. So she did pop-up stands, right? So she would she'd make an announcement on social media, hey, I've got donuts. We're going to be at this location from this time. And they freaking sell out over and over and over again, right? Bless you. And finally, she built up enough of a brand in the area where she lived to where she's like, okay, like I can't keep up with the pop-up stands. And then shifted into a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
Kept it very small, clean, neat, functional, but put it in a high visibility location, and they are cranking all the time. That was one example.
Nice.
The other was a coffee shop in Washington, D.C. They had converted this. It literally was a crack house.
Nice.
They had tore down the crack house. They built a coffee shop, and it's across from, I think, Penn Station. And there are, or Union Station, I can't remember, whatever. It's the major train station that rolls into DC. And there's like 5 or 6 different Starbucks within a couple blocks of them. And they do more business than most of the Starbucks combined.
Yeah.
They did their research. So it was really about location and the fact that they owned the building and they didn't have to obey, certain franchise rules and regulations.
That's some flexibility.
And it was a 2-story structure. And that was how they were able to capitalize on the building overall. So you could come in, hang out here, but downstairs was a whole nother hangout area, and that was not typical of the build out of most other locations. So it was patience, right place, right time, additional space.
Bang.
Great. JC's got a really good smaller example too. Insomnia Cookies. I don't know if you got Al. You probably know Insomnia up on SU Marshall Street. Insomnia Cookies. They deliver warm cookies, and her input specifically was they deliver until 3 a.m. So
they sure do.
Imagine how popular that on campus.
Oh my God, unbelievable!
Not only do they have amazing cookies, that's a great product, but the innovation happens. They're doing what no other companies are doing, what most other restaurants aren't even doing. Delivering until 3 a.m., not 2 a.m., not 12, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all the freaking nut jobs like me up until 3 a.m.
You could have those with your night milk and you'd be good to go.
Okay, first of all, it's called moon milk.
I run on moon milk and insomnia cookies.
I think for me, one of the greatest innovations that has happened in my entire lifetime is the fact that all of the greatest product lines in the world in terms of, whether it's software or services, is subscription-based services have become like the thing. Like the fact that like I don't have to buy Adobe software that expires in 3 years because it's updated. You have to buy it again. The fact that the biggest, largest industry specific brands and industry standard things are subscription based. I love that. Like anything subscription based for me, I love. Netflix, coffee subscription, freaking Adobe,
It's such a win-win.
I love it.
It makes the company so much more money, and it makes it so much easier to plan. And it's a win for the customer because they don't have to worry about reordering it. They don't have to worry. Just what you said. You don't from software. You don't have to worry about upgrading, fucking around. That's why Shopify is so good, because you pay monthly. You don't have to set up your own hosting. None of that shit. You pay a monthly thing and you have it, and they'll make sure your website's running at all times. Right?
Yeah.
So
the best.
So even to the product subscription, you mentioned coffee.
Oh.
So like Amazon Subscribe and Save, right? You can pack things into your Subscribe and Save that you use every single month at a high quantity, and it turns over like toilet paper, coffee.
Dollar Shave Club, bro. Like
you can subscribe to get toilet paper delivered?
Dude, Rob.
Where have I been?
I don't know.
Were they here during the beginning of the pandemic?
That subscription might have been paused for a little while.
They were like, "Oh, shut down,
done."
Honey, where's my subscribe button for toilet paper?
Yeah, I love it. You can't beat it.
Yeah,
I want all the things to come to my door without me thinking.
Stemming off of that too is the subscription box, like that's like a new industry, right? I don't know if that's an innovation, but the Dollar Shave Clubs, the trunk clubs, the Stitch Fixes, like that whole industry. Gary Vaynerchuk's an investor in one of them. The BarkBox, I think, is the pet one.
Okay.
There's maybe he's not that one. There's a there's like tons of different subscription box services specifically. So that's a really crazy, probably $1 billion industry. Well, it definitely is, because I think Stitch Fix is a $1 billion company by itself. But anyways, innovation. We've talked a lot bigger examples about the Ubers and the Airbnbs and things like that all innovated to create these massive, $1 billion companies. But Rob, as you said, small innovation is what moves the needle. Looking for $1 million idea is probably going to lead to some letdown if that's what you're expecting from innovation. Small changes, and remember, this isn't focused just around product. Remember the things that I categorize: organizational, process, marketing. These are all areas that you can innovate your ideas. Here's my last little tidbit of the show is one of the greatest types of innovation that we've seen in business is the acceptance of empathy and personality and thoughtfulness and kindness and vulnerability in business in like the corporate environment and culture. That's a very innovative way thinking when you flash back to 20 years ago. Think of the movie Wall Street. You guys ever seen that? Gordon Gekko, that 80s, 90s sort of work 9 to 5 office space, like that mentality, or the show The Office, that was the way work was. Like that was work culture. And now we've innovated to being able to accept other people, be more kind, be more thoughtful, be understanding of the fact that like we're humans, we're all the same species. We're all like trying to live our lives in different areas, and work is a big part of it, but it's just a piece of it. And so that's an innovative thing that has happened. And that's just mindset. That's it's like mindset innovation. You know.
I got one more, but before I do, two things, John. Hope you had a great Movember.
Oh, it's
you
gone.
finally noticed.
It's gone.
This
Number
morning.
two.
Shoot.
I hit my goal.
Awesome.
I hit my goal.
Jake's got a question, and then I've got one more to throw at you guys before we wrap up. So Jake asked, John, what is your opinion on a company like Design Pickle that has a monthly graphic design subscription?
I love it. I mean, listen, any of these subscription services, any of these companies, let alone subscription services, that fill a gap of a skill that you either don't want to do or don't have is amazing. That's why companies like Upwork, where you can go on and you can find somebody to code your website if you need to code it. Although I told you, just told you don't. Somebody to edit your audio, somebody to film a quick video to design something, or a company like Design Pickle, where if you need design regularly, logos, little quote cards, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to do it or you don't know how to do it, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
Billy made a comment, the $1 million idea, the killer to most entrepreneurs. Yes, it does happen, just not overnight. And yet you're right,
Agreed.
Billy. Like that's
agreed.
That doesn't mean that you should stop dreaming or stop, striving for those things. But, I think there's also a dose of reality that comes along, with that as well.
Rob, you mentioned yesterday in our chat, WhatsApp chat, Kaizen, right? And I think is that where you're going to head right now? Yeah. So I'll let you do that, but that is stemming off of this. I will use my own experience of the $1 million idea. You guys know, I got an idea is a very common thing that comes out of my mouth. And I think it's really important for an entrepreneur to understand themselves deeply and understand, are you able to check yourself and really think through an idea before you dive and invest into it? I have historically not been able to do that great. And so what has helped me is you two, my wife, other people sort of challenging me. I might not even listen to it at the beginning because I'm so like, this is an amazing idea. But even having that doubt, or somebody saying like, well, you sure? Like, here's why that might not be a good idea. And I might press through. But like having somebody around that you can bounce ideas off of, to Billy's point, is a good idea so that you don't invest time and then quite often a lot of money in something that maybe you should research a little bit more. Because you're right, Billy, it's a killer.
It's a killer, a silent killer.
So Kaizen,
God bless you.
Things that stem back to the thank you.
Nice.
To the Toyota way and lean manufacturing and things like that. So there's a local company owned by a guy by the name of Big Mike, and he owns a local IT company. So he'd been studying this stuff for a number of years, and he started implementing it in his IT company, which is not typically where you would see this. So a few things that he did within his company that started making a difference. So one was, and Mike's also a closet woodworker. So he likes to tinker and make things, in his home shop. So one of the things that they did was they had this old fish tank that wasn't being used. So they cleaned it all up, put it in the corner of the office, and then he bought a ton of ping pong balls. Right. So everybody got like 4 or 5 ping pong balls, and then he made these wooden racks to put on everybody's desk, which the desk that he made to increase their daily operational efficiency. And you would write down a thing that you wanted to change to make better in the organization. And you'd write it down on the ping pong ball. And once you did it, you threw the ping pong ball into the fish tank. And you got to see that the balls go rising up and up and up and up as they made changes and increased the operational efficiency within the company. And ultimately that has an end result to where it's making a great impact in the client and the customer service. They got rid of all of their desks, cleaned out all clutter, made stand-up desks, had drawers in them with Kaizen foam, which is fantastic. If you've not ever seen that, it can take your cluttered toolbox. It's the modern day version of your grandfather's pegboard in the shop or the garage, where you'd hang all your tools on and then you outline it or whatever. So you cut the foam because you outline your foam using the tools. And now that each drawer has its own place within the foam.
I see.
The tool, right? So they did that in their office.
For like a pen or a phone or whatever you put it.
Stapler, anything that you can imagine. They also took a step where they eliminated waste. So as the computer stuff comes into their location, they took everything out. It goes into these heavy-duty canvas bags. Those bags get delivered to the customer for an install. So what they do with the trash is that all gets cleaned up at their location. So you, the customer, are not paying for the labor time for them to unpackage and do everything.
Nice.
And there's no mess in your location. Well, the foam pieces so all those little tiny like styrofoam things that are flying all over the place that you can't possibly clean up. And they've had innovation after innovation after innovation utilizing Kaizen and
great concepts for sure.
Daily improvements. That's it. Small.
That's the key, Rob. All right, everybody, we're gonna end the show here. We got a jet. Don't forget, we announce our giveaway of our YouTube subscriber giveaway every live show. And today's giveaway, we're giving away a pair of Jackson Jovi jeans. Today's winner, cool thing, because we got their channel name. So this is like a YouTuber. The channel name is Being Boundless, and her name is Laura Christine. So Laura Christine, congratulations. You won yourself a pair of Jackson Jovi jeans. And for all of you out there, go check out Being Boundless on YouTube. Laura, all you have to do is email buzzed@nobullcompany.com. That's buzzed@nobullcompany.com, and we'll hook you up with a pair of jeans. For everyone else out there, thank you so much for engaging. If you're watching live, if you're watching this in the future, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, we are super appreciative for you tuning in wherever you are listening or watching this. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I forgot to cheers. Cheers, everyone. Life and business. May you prosper in both.
Amen.